I can
Okay.
hear you now. Did you just work out?
I just got done with a run, yeah.
Man,
That time.
and here I am, just being myself. It's been a pretty insane last 72 hours. Um,
Wow.
and you're all gonna hear about it. So
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's go.
so Sunday, I don't know if you heard, but we had general elections for president, and I
Yes.
went to vote.
Did your
So I
candidate
woke
win?
up. What?
Did your candidate win?
Of course not. But that doesn't matter. Anyway, so I woke up at 7 a.m. I went to the voting place where they were gonna open up the things at 8 a.m. And then I
Okay.
went there and I was there. It was by like almost 8. I was getting there. I was parking and I went and I saw the longest fucking line I've ever seen in my life. But I stood there. It was sunny. It was well, it wasn't that sunny. It was actually kind of nice, and I was under some palm trees. I brought my Kindle, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like read here for a bit. I had a delicious summer espresso from Tim Hortons. It is coffee where they do a shot of espresso, mineral water, and tangerine extract, and it is fucking fantastic. And I was there, I had my coffee, I spoke with people on the line, it was nice, and then 3 hours later I was able to cast my vote. And then I cast my vote, and then I left, and then I got home and I got to rest, and then the next day I went to work Monday, and then found out that the candidate that I voted for didn't win, but whatever, doesn't matter. I guess these things just happen.
How many candidates were there?
Three.
Did the one that won, is she good or is she not?
It's debatable.
What do we not like about her?
Well, she kind of sells herself as this left wing uh um doctor of what's it called? Of like ecological sciences
So,
when
ecology.
yeah, when actually she does not really stand for like the things that she says that she stands for. She says that she lied about the numbers of the women that were killed last year to make her numbers look good. She sent cops with tear gas at a women's march. But every single report that I'm seeing is like, look, Mexico's first female president, and she's Jewish, and she's pro-Palestine. I'm like, is she pro-Palestine? She hasn't really said anything about that.
So,
Anyway,
and
uh,
it's funny because I have some really intelligent people that I consider really intelligent on Facebook that are
yeah,
championing her right now that don't know
yeah,
that well, I guess.
yeah, they don't live here.
Oh, wow, that's crazy to see some of the smartest people I know being duped.
Happens to the best of us. And anyway, so I went to work and everything was like, I was like, you know what, I'm okay with this. Like I made my peace, whatever. And then this morning I was going to work, I was driving. I was like a couple of minutes away from work, and it's 4:40 a.m. And I'm driving through the street and I get T-boned.
Oh shit, are you okay?
I am okay, man. I am fantastic.
Why
I'm
didn't you say
fine
this earlier?
because I was at work.
No, motherfucker. Wait, you got T-Bone this morning?
Yeah, this morning.
I mean, you were able to reply to me earlier during lunch. You fucking message me if something happens to you.
I
Jesus.
was I'm okay. So here's the thing. I'm okay. My car is relatively okay. It was their fault.
Good.
The thing is that they broke a couple of rules of what happens when you get involved in a car crash. First, they moved their car, which you're not supposed to do.
Yes.
Second, they bailed
Sorry.
before.
Sorry.
No. Second, they bailed. Like I got hit. I turn, like my car does like a little wheelie.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
I
how
end
hard you
up,
got hit?
yeah, I got hit pretty hard. But they skipped a stop sign, so it was like 100% on them. I was good. I was in my element.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm downtown. It's 4:40 a.m. It's dark. Like, and I was alone. So it's like, not ideal. So I just like checked myself, checked that I was okay, immediately locked my car.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let me pull up the insurance. So I called the insurance and they were like, and I was like, hey, so this happened. And they were like, oof. And I was like, oof, it did, bro. And and uh and he's like, and they bailed? And I was like, yeah, they bailed. I was like, oh, that's that in the industry, we call that, a bad move. And I'm like, yeah, you're telling me. So
Is
they're
it
like,
really that cool? Was your insurance company really that cool?
it was actually pretty funny because like it's 4:40 a.m. Like I'm like, this is not the conversation that I was thinking I'm gonna have. So I was talking with the guy and I was like, yeah, like, we gotta like do the next step. And he was like, yeah, I'll send someone out. He'll be there in like 45 minutes. So I'm just there and I'm like, well, I can't leave. I can't go to work and I can't like get out of my car. So I was like, all right. So I pulled off my Kindle and I was like, I'll just like read for a bit. Because like, what the fuck else would I was supposed to do? I'm fine. Like bodily, I'm fine. Like I didn't break anything. I didn't shook anything. My airbags didn't go off. Because like I got hit like right in the middle of the two doors
On your side
uh,
or on the other side?
on the other side, on the passenger side.
Oh, thank
Uh
God. Okay, no wonder it was
yeah.
already dispersed by the time you got it. Okay.
Yeah. So the guy came and he was like, oof. And I'm like, yeah, you're telling me.
Indeed.
And so and they moved the car. And I was like, yeah, it's over there. Like the car's still there. Because by that point I thought like they're still in the car. It's like, no, they left the car. Like they moved the car, they left it.
Was it stolen?
I have no idea. The car looked awful. It was a Chevy, old, like all four tires were like backup tires. Like it was not a good vehicle.
It was a piece of shit, essentially.
Piece of shit. So they were like, "Oh, we'll just crash and leave." So they left. So they were like, well, you're clearly in the right." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. I tend to be. Nobody fucking listens to me, but yeah." And
On this show.
yeah. So it's like, so we're there, we're talking and everything, and he's taking the pictures and he's sending them back, and he's like, "Yeah, I just signed here," and like, transit police was gonna show up in a bit because they have to take the other car. They're gonna take it to a lot, and they're gonna identify it so that they can persecute these guys, and like, it's gonna be a court order. They have to show up, and after you pay your deductible, they will reimburse it after they pay for it. And I was like, after they do it, it's like, well, if they show up.
I thought the
And
same
I'm
thing.
like, well, thanks. And then transit showed up, and this lady cop was like, well, yeah, we're gonna take the car, but like, just so you know, like they have to show up so that they can reimburse your thing. And I'm like, okay. And then she goes like, we've been chasing some people for like 2 years, and we haven't caught them. And I was like, this
Thank
is why.
you.
I'm like, I'm like, thank you, cops. This is why you're fucking useless. Anyway,
Not every cop is
uh,
a bad cop, Chema.
yeah, they are. I'm sorry if you're
No.
listening to this and you're a cop. Mm,
Are you
rethink your life
judging all
choices.
cops based on the actions of a few?
Yeah, why wouldn't
That's
I?
not okay.
Oh, is it not?
We're
Well, would you look at that?
we're supposed to be
Well,
better.
well, if it isn't the Blowjob Brothers.
What?
All right, that was my bit. You ready to talk some anime weird shit?
What a we. Yeah, sure. Can I say something before we jump in to not to piggyback off your story?
Sure.
Uh, the first DCU video's out and it's done
Oh yeah.
tremendous. It has over 3,000 views. Thank you, anyone that has seen it. I appreciate y'all.
I was there when the video premiered and I left the first comment.
I saw that. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very excited. You know what's the funniest part about that video?
But
I was watching it, and there was a part of me thinking like, this looks so real. Like this feels like it's a real video. And I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? Of course it's a real video. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you see a baby and you're like, wow, it looks so real. And like, of course it's real. It's a fucking baby. I don't know. It gave me that same like delayed reaction. It was great. Fantastic job. And fantastic job by the editor. Jerry, I believe it's his name.
yes, sir.
Yeah, fantastic job by him. A shout out to him.
And yeah, Jesus. Goddamn, man. That's Chema, hit the fucking intro, please.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
And am I Eddie?
Are you? Reviewing Perfect Blue, this is the rollback. The color of illusion is perfect blue. A retired pop singer turned actress's sense of reality is shaken when she is stalked by an obsessed fan and seemingly ghost of her past. So this is Perfect Blue, the 1997, I would dare say, classic, directed by Satoshi Kon, one of the most interesting people that have ever worked in the anime industry, creating very trippy and very poignant projects that have been just incredibly influential, not just in Japan and in anime, but in all around the world. Their movies have inspired directors like Christopher Nolan and others, and to becoming more. And he's done drama to science fiction to horror to even comedy. The creator of one of my favorite anime series of all time, Paranoia Agent, and the director of other four very, very popular movies, Perfect Blue, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, and Millennium Actress. And now we talk about Perfect Blue because you, Eddie, a long time ago asked me like, "Hey, I want to see like some horror anime. Like I want to see like something horror."
Yeah.
And my mind immediately went to something like Junji Ito, but I thought like, oh, like his anime adaptations have not been great. Like, and I don't think you would sit down to read manga. And then I thought like, oh well, let's do Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue, it's a classic. It's a movie from 1997, pretty short, an hour and 20 minutes or so, and a movie that can be binged in like an afternoon. And weirdly enough, I think one that doesn't leave you ever. This is a movie that made me scared to be famous. So it's a good moment to talk about that, I guess, right after we hit the 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, thank you everyone for all the
Um,
subscribers. Woo!
Hell yeah. You're there you are. Okay. So I've seen the movie several times in my life. You just saw it. What did you think about Perfect Blue?
Damn, I might need to watch it multiple times. I've seen it a few, but like I feel like this is one of those movies where every time I rewatch it, I'm gonna notice something different. There are movies like Inception. I hate to say this, Godfather, where every time I rewatch it, I notice something slightly different from a different perspective and stuff. Um, this gives me that vibe. Perfect Blue is a movie that I've heard a lot about over the years. It's always in like top 10 anime movies you probably haven't seen, or top 10 trippy anime films or top 10, mystery anime films. It's always in a top 10 category list of some type. But this movie is so trippy, they never give it away. All they talk about is how it's a psychological thriller slash horror, going into the mind of a former pop singer turning an actress, and it blurs the lines. That's all they ever give away. They never really gave away the ending, which so I didn't know what to expect. It's one of the rare times I've actually gone into a movie blind. Most films, the most famous films that I go into, I know the ending. I know what's going to happen. It doesn't completely ruin it for me, but I'm in it for the journey, not the destination. But this was one of those pleasant surprises where I had no idea what was happening. And I'm glad. I'm glad I went in blind because I love a good mystery film. They are so fucking rare. But this was great. I really really enjoyed this one.
I
Um,
think, yeah, definitely a movie that where the main character, first of all, you like the main character. Like she's so easy to like. She's going through this transition in her life, and
yeah,
you want to support her. You're like, well, that's the direction she wants to go. Like, of course. And it's about people's obsession and belief that they own something
yeah,
that, and how crazy they can go when they lose it. I think a big element in this movie, one of the most remembered things, is the character of Mamoru Uchida, or Mr. Uchida, who's the stalker character. One
yeah.
of the most like genuinely like uncanny,
Unsettling.
very unsettling characters I think that have ever existed. Not just in the way he looks, but like a lot of his scenes sometimes don't even have any dialogue. It's just him kind of just standing there, and it is absolutely terrifying.
Um, I think one of the things, and I'll say this, I think one of the reasons why I like this film so much, and we'll dive into like the whole story and the
Mhm.
psychological aspect of it, but one of the things that I've always harped on for years, and I will admit my faults, I'm not always right, was I never understood why celebrities are so heavily affected by online presence. My thought process was always just have thick skin. Like if they can't get to you, why do you care? Or okay, there are mean words. You're moving forward in your life and in your career. Why are you gonna let mean words hurt you? I've always been of that mindset. That's just the way I was raised. Have thick skin, you'll be fine. This movie made me re-examine that aspect when it came to a celebrity or stardom because like it gets dangerous. She gets a letter that explodes that could have cut her hand open, that could have injured her. Um, she doesn't live in a fancy home with other people. She is in a small apartment that, quite frankly, anyone can break into. Anyone can get in there. She is stalked repeatedly over and over again, and it's one of those situations where she knows she's being watched, but there's no way to spot the guy, or people or a woman. Like there's no way for her to manage it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um, it genuinely made me reevaluate like how toxic some fandoms can be, how toxic fans can be at times, because also the actions of a lot of these characters that are obsessed with her, aren't out of the realm of the ordinary. How many people do you see cosplaying as characters from comic books or anime or even real life characters, And they do it in good fun. But I gotta believe for all those people that do it in good fun that aren't malice, there have to be a handful of individuals that do it that are not of sound mind. Like Mr. Uchida, when he buys all those magazines of her, nude, because no one can see her like that. No one gets to see her like that. I believe that exists because we've seen it.
yeah,
So straight up, this movie, if there's the biggest compliment I can give, is that it made me reevaluate the way I examine things on a certain level, and that is a compliment. I mean that as a compliment completely.
yeah. I think the example that's more true to life is the Bjork stalker. Like, did you hear about this case?
Is that the one that shot Reagan,
No.
or is this which one is Bjork? I'm sorry, there have been a few cases.
No, so Bjork is a singer. Like, she's a
Okay.
singer. She's from Alaska, I think. No, she's from Iceland, sorry.
Mhm.
And she had a stalker, a guy from Uruguay who
Mhm.
was like completely like out of touch with reality, and filmed several videos of himself and sent out a box with a bomb like to reach like her house, and which ended up like getting confiscated, and like the bomb didn't go off. Like it was a whole thing. And they are like, and it's unsettling, like things like that, and like to know that those things happen in real life is crazy. And Perfect Blue, I think, perfectly replicates that, but also adds that shade of the fantastic. It adds that shade that anime does so well, where it blends that reality and that very different perspective and sensibility that I think anime has.
Mhm.
Because this manages to blur real life with uh what's happening in her head, what's actually happening. There's a fantastic scene that's very, very strong. When she's filming like the music video. No, not a music video, the scene in the movie where she's supposed to be like it's almost like a sex scene almost.
Mhm.
And you don't know what if it's like if it's is it actually happening? Is it being recorded? Like what's happening?
Oh, the assault scene.
And the assault scene, yes.
Yeah.
And it's very uncanny. It's quite unsettling, and it is, but it is also like you're watching it and you're like, God damn, like this is almost 30 years old and it has not aged a day.
It You're completely right. At first, I wasn't as unsettled just because the guy, like, there's a part where they cut and they're like, everyone hold still, we gotta move the cameras. And the guy's on top of her, he's like, I'm so sorry about this. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
almost like trying to settle down the situation. And it almost like gives you a false sense of security. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like everything's fine. But then it starts to get out of hand, and maybe they're acting too well in the context of the anime, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, but it does begin to get blurred because you're not sure. Up until this point in the film, there have been moments where they cut between them filming the show, her real life, her persona, and you're not sure which one are you watching right now.
Yeah. There's
It's
certain there's certain moments where she would like look at herself in the mirror and she would imagine like her
the
with
pink
the
outfit.
idol get up. Yeah. Just like looking back at her. And something that I really like about this movie, and I don't mean to jump too fast into the ending, but like I really like that there is like an explanation, like there is like a reason why this is all happening, and we see that it's like the obsession of not just sorry, the stalker, but also like her is it
System.
her assistant, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we saw something similar. Remember the when they made the David Gordon Green Halloween, the first one? Um
Oh yeah, and the doctor was secretly helping Michael break out.
Yeah, not only hoping, but like when he finds the mask and he puts it on and he wants like it's an obsession there. And we've seen that in movies, of course, but I like to think that this really opened a lot of doors. I mean, Darren Aronofsky was kind of open by saying that so the director Darren Aronofsky, he owns the American rights to this movie
Mhm.
because he wanted to make a live action version,
Mhm.
but he straight up can't because it's like there's no way to do this, like it's impossible. And so he ended up recreating a scene from this movie into when he made Requiem for a Dream because he's like, well, I might as well like reference it. I might as well. I own the rights. So
I think you could. Has Darren
nah,
Aronofsky has he been canceled? No, right? No, he just
nah.
did the whale. I think you
Yeah.
could do a live action version of this. It wouldn't be easy, but I think it's definitely doable.
I like how your first thought was like, has he been canceled? Jack.
For some reason, I imagine Aronofsky. For some reason, that name reminds me of someone that has been canceled. Who's the
Oh.
one that like it fled the U.S.?
Oh, that's fuck. That's shit. No, don't look it up. Don't look it up. I know it. It's fucking
It's a piano movie.
yeah. Roman Polanski.
Thank you, Polanski, Aronofsky, both ends with key. So
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah. No, Aronofsky's only sin was doing
Noah.
Noah, and that's it.
Black Swan, solid. The Wrestler, fucking solid. The Fountain, never saw it. Below, never saw it. Requiem for a Dream, Jesus Christ. If he did Requiem for a Dream, he could do a Perfect Blue, like live action.
Yeah, there's a scene in Requiem for a Dream that directly lifted from Perfect Blue.
Which one?
It's the scene where she's in the tub and got like her head underwater.
Oh, and she's screaming. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, he replicates that in Requiem for a Dream. Um, what do you think of the animation? Like this almost 30-year-old animation? It looks fantastic.
Crisp for the most part, and you can tell when they want to, you see the budget go, like with how fluid it is.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I saw it on the highest quality I could, and it still looked like pretty damn great. Um, oh, the animation is solid, and I love how they take advantage of the fact that so different forms of storytelling allow you to do different things, right? If you're doing a an audiobook, for example, using certain effects for different actors for different scenes, stuff like that, obviously makes the experience, more unique. When it comes to animation, or in this case, anime, they have other tools at their disposal that live action just have to worry about, flicking back and forth, automatically showing us things. It works for me. Yeah, a lot of this movie really works. The animation works well. Um, Particularly the part where like you see Mima's, I guess, pop star persona and her live
Yeah.
action one interacting, and she's jumping around people and stuff, and it's again little things like that that use anime to its best. There's a scene at the very end that I really enjoyed that I'm like, how the fuck is she keeping up? Where Mima is running from Rumi while Rumi is in her, Mima persona, and you just see her like skipping, chasing Mima with an umbrella. But then there's a moment where you see in the glass, where you see Rumi just like running, like sweating like
Yeah.
crazy. And it's those little things that live action movies don't do enough that I really enjoyed in this film.
Yeah. It's amazing how they did so much with very little. Do you know what the budget for this was?
I'm gonna
Don't
say
look it up. Don't look it up. Just trust me on this.
$1 million.
So this was 90 million yen, which is the equivalent of $830,000.
Damn. Is okay, wait. I have a question because I don't have any. Is that a lot?
1997 exchange rate though.
No, no, well, but is that a lot for an anime film? I don't know how much anime movies typically cost.
What do you think, for example, what do you think Battle of the Gods cost?
Oh, dude, but it's Dragon Ball Z. They bust out the budget for that. Probably like what, 10 mil?
That cost. Oh, that information is not available. Never mind. One minute.
How about Broly? Is Broly available?
That costs 515K US dollars.
$515,000?
Yes.
That less than $500,000 to do Broly.
Yes. No, that was for Battle of the Gods.
Sorry, that was Battle of Gods. So you're telling me if I just save up 500K, I can have a movie quality Dragon Ball Z film made with the voice
Super
actors.
Super Broly was 8.5 million.
That makes sense now. That one makes sense. I'm like, how the fuck did Battle of Gods cost half a million? Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, been some time.
Anyway,
Anyway,
anime is expensive, and this movie, damn, on that, even I know enough to know that's a low budget.
yeah. But the thing about Satoshi Kon is that he was such an artiste and he was such a dedicated person with a specific vision that only he could do his own movies,
Mhm.
you know? He was never attached to like a big studio. He never had his own studio, and his works were pretty limited, but I think they're gonna be very much remembered. A big one being this one.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things that like I knew you wanted to see something horror. This is not too scary, I would say. It's more psychological. It's more of a good drama than anything. But yeah, I wish there was kind of sucks because he passed away in 2010,
Hmm.
and I kind of wish like we had had more. But I do believe his movies are going to live on, and they inspired pretty trippy directors like Aronofsky and Del Toro and Nolan. I mean, Inception is basically uh, less good Paprika. So there we are.
Let me
Yeah.
watch Paprika and I'll get back to you on that one. Uh,
Oof.
this movie, there's also a bunch of scenes where, and again, as an anime film, I'm not trying to dunk on anime, but it's harder for them to make me buy into fake outs. But there's a scene towards the end, not the very end, but towards the end in the third act, where you know how she's acting on a TV show. There's a
Yeah.
point where the main actress on that TV show, Miss Ochia, is talking and saying she thinks that she is a actress by the name of Mima. Like
Yeah.
essentially saying like, hey, this person's crazy. She thinks she's this, when in reality, like she thinks this is a show, but this is real life. She's killed three people. Um, which is one of those rare times where I'm like, wait a second, where we have we been double duped? Like it's a Shutter Island where they make you buy into what's going on. Even if it's only for a split second, where I believe it. And that is for someone that has seen a couple hundred films, that is not an easy thing to do. I can normally smell a dupe a mile away, but again, I went to this movie so blind. I'm like, maybe, maybe, maybe we're all in on the joke. Um, but no, but then obviously, towards the end, in the last 10 minutes of the film, we get like so much happening. Her manager has been killed, stabbed in both eyes because he had Mima sign up for a role where she has to do a few sex scenes and stuff. She's trying to mature as an actress, and that's her decision. Um, Ochida attacks her, replicating the assault scene from earlier, and she manages to hit him in the head with a hammer. And she thinks that she kills him, that she killed him. But we run back. She gets Rumi. They go back and they can't find his body. And then we see her manager's been killed. He's been killed. And Mima passes out and she wakes up in what we thought was her bedroom. And I remember just thinking to myself, wait a second. She took down the poster. She threw away all the stuffies. Like, no, there's a bait and switch here. And we hear the train. She opens the window and we realize with her, she's not in her apartment. Turns
Yeah.
around and we find out Rumi has, essentially been one of her stalkers, one of her super fans. Um, which sadly makes sense. There's an earlier part in the film, I believe, where I think even Rumi was at one point like a star. Like she was a singer or
Yeah.
whatever, but she kind of ages out of the role. Either you get bigger or you age out. You get too old.
Yeah.
Um, And it made a lot of
Yeah.
sense because there's a scene earlier where you think it's Mima dancing with her two old friends from is it
Cham. Yeah.
Cham. And they both look weirded out looking at her, and you're like, are they mad because she's in the spotlight? But in retrospect, you realize, oh, it's because it's Rumi dancing with them. And they're like, who the fuck is this? Or why is she
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
something's off.
Yeah.
And she reminded me of Selena's killer.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
when is Selena?
More. Oh, she's never coming out of jail. She is never coming out of jail.
Oh, actually, I can tell you for a fact, they do actually have her. So, folks, I used to work as a correctional officer.
You
Uh,
worked at that jail?
no, not that jail.
Oh
I
my
knew about that
God.
jail. No, we swapped stories.
Okay.
So her murderer is kept in segregation. Like, and
Yeah.
essentially, it's she's in isolation. She has no
Yeah.
contact with other inmates because they are well aware if they release her into Gen Pop, she will be killed in the same day. So much so that when they were considering putting her in like in a general area with like eight other inmates, they're like, okay, maybe she can be around a few other people and it'll be fine. Nah, they tried to assault her that same day. They immediately put her back in seg within an hour.
Yeah.
They're like,
Well,
she can't be out in front of anyone.
bitty bitty bum bum. Like it's not. Don't fucking do that. Like I've seen videos of like because every once in a while she gets like a session to like appeal and like request parole, and every single time it's been denied. But every single time that it's time for that session, there's crowds gathered outside of the jail, just waiting.
Oh, if she ever gets out, she won't last long in the real world.
Yeah, no, there's no no,
Um,
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's what mostly reminded me of Rumi when I was seeing this. Yeah,
so question, do you think she was inspired by Yolanda because Selena was killed in 1995. This movie released in 97. I'm not saying he's ripping her off, but like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some
Well,
minor inspiration.
I wouldn't doubt it, but also, Yolanda's not the first obsessive fan that kills a famous person. I mean, that's how we lost John Lennon. That's how we lost Dimebag Darrell. That's how we lost,
But Rumi's
you
more
know,
than an obsessed fan. She's also her assistant.
yeah. I don't doubt it. I do think there is a lot of that in there. Um, yeah, this movie is so special, man. Like it's unique, it's fun, it's like it's super engaging. And I think it's one of those things that you have to see if you're trying to get way deeper into animation. Because I don't think this could be done live action, or at least not as good. Like I don't think this can be improved upon by making it into live action.
They would have to be all in on it if they did. Like none of this like you can't pull a Madam Web where it's like I know I'm acting in a shitty movie. No, like you need to buy in because it's a straight up it's a side even if we take the anime out of it, it is a good psychological thriller. Like
Mhm.
up first and then it's an animation film. And that like it's like saying Into the Spider-Verse is a great movie. It's not a great superhero movie. It's not a great animated movie. It is a great film. You know what I
That's
mean?
a picture.
Hell yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Another thing was also how scarily relatable. So there's a point where she keeps blacking out and waking up, and the days are blurring together, and she's not sure what day it is, what's happening, what is she doing, what has she done lately.
She
And
doesn't even know what she is, but
yeah,
like by that point, yeah.
and it's scarily I would say relatable, I would say, because if you're running ragged, if you're running on a few hours of sleep and you're exhausted, and someone asks you, what'd you have for lunch yesterday? You can't remember because you're that ragged, you're that run down, you're that exhausted. And to see that, like, damn.
Yeah. It is such a trip, and it is I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't have a lot to say besides this. I'm kind of boring when it comes to movies that I adore because I'm just like, it's so good, man. It's so fucking good.
Right, it's great, isn't it?
So yeah, it's just I'm just happy that like we finally got it off your list. Yeah,
No, I'm glad. It
yeah,
genuinely a great movie. Happy I watched it. I might watch Paprika now. Um,
yeah.
It's also a great murder mystery film. If you're into those, which obviously I love murder mystery films, you're hearing it from the horse's mouth, folks. This is a great murder mystery. I recommend it. Even if you know the ending, the journey to get there is still worth it.
Also, it's short. It's 82 minutes. Like you can bank it out in an afternoon. Like
You can watch it during
it's
your lunch hour, like me. If you don't have an appointment after lunch, you can watch the whole thing in one shot.
yeah. And it fills you up. It makes you feel like you've watched like a full thing. I love Satoshi Kon's movies. Every Christmas, I watch Tokyo Godfathers because it makes me feel so good. So it's definitely one of those that like you gotta see. Have you ever heard of Tokyo Godfathers?
Never.
So it's a Christmas movie, but it's about three people. It is this little girl who's a runaway, middle-aged alcoholic man,
Okay.
and a drag queen, and they meet on the street and they find a baby in a garbage can.
Okay.
And they spend Christmas trying to help this baby. It's so good. It's so fucking good, man.
I does it have a happy ending? Please tell me yes.
Yeah, it
Oh.
does. Yeah.
All right, I'm down. I'm in.
Yeah, it's super funny and like Stushikon, like if you want to watch Paprika or Millennium Actress, like they're all good. Like they're all fucking good. And Paranoia Agent, of course, is a classic. So yeah, I'm gonna give Perfect Blue 4.5 out of 5. Very close to a close 5. Absolutely love it. And yeah, had a ball rewatching it for this.
I would give it a 7.5. Really, really good. I do recommend it to people. It's definitely worth it. Um, yeah, yeah, solid. Side note, I remember Paranoia Agent. I remember watching it when I was a kid on Tsunami.
Oh yeah, they used to pass it on Tsunami.
And there is an episode where there's a guy. I think Paranormal Agent maybe stole some of my innocence when I was a kid. Now that I think about it. Because there's a scene where a guy breaks into an old couple's house and their daughter walks in and he says something really creepy. And I'm like, did he hurt her? And I'm 8, 9. I don't know any better.
Mhm.
Yeah, wait, was it? No, okay, I was 10. But I'm 10. And I'm like, did he hurt her? Because I didn't know any better. And there's another part where a girl is going through her room and she finds a bunch of hidden cameras and she's young. She's under
Yeah,
and she finds a bunch of hidden cameras and she finds some stuff on her dad's laptop. And again, that's one of those moments where I'm like, is he videotaping her? I'm a kid watching
yeah,
this. So I remember Paranoia Agent kind of rocked me because it was like, dads aren't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Um,
yeah.
damn, I'm diving into some old memories. Wow.
That's the Satoshi Kon effect. Anyway, that thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We talked about Perfect Blue. This was great. Thank you so much for everyone, for the 1,000 of you who subscribed, for the 3,000 of you that watched this video, or I mean the 2,000 because I watched it like a full thousand. Shout out to my dad's friends who ended up subscribing.
Did they?
Shout out, yeah,
Hey.
shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fun project. We're almost halfway through the year, and it has been a pretty interesting one. What are we doing next week?
Up to you. I just saw an in a violent nature, but I mean we don't have to watch it. We don't have to do that one.
I want to do that one, but it's not out here yet, so
That's
I
fine.
can't really see it.
What's soon? Bad Boys?
I guess Bad Boys. Inside Out comes out. Inside Out, no, not this week. Next week, right? Yeah, Inside
I'm
Out
not
is
sure.
next week.
Does it come out along with Bad Boys? Because that's very poor form on their part.
I think Bad Boys is this week, and Inside Out is next week.
Uh, Up to you.
Yeah.
Or you can text.
You know what? Yeah, let's shoot for Bad Boys, but in case we don't, one of us doesn't see it, we can do Hell of a Boss because I'm caught up.
I need to catch up. Let's go.
Yeah. Have you started
Let's fucking go.
it?
If
Dude,
I
you're
like
gonna,
something, I will make time to watch it.
dude. The main character in Hell of a Boss, his name is Blitz, Blitzo or Blitz. I think he might be my favorite character, like in both shows. I love this character. He's so insane, and I think it's super funny. Yeah.
Let's.
Let's. Well, I like the whole like, because do you know what it even is about?
No idea.
So it's in the same hell as in Has Been Hotel.
Uh-huh.
So same hell, but they are a small time organization. So they're like a startup, and what they do is that people that go to hell go to them, and they're like, "Hey, I hated this guy when he was alive," and they're like, "Okay," so they go to Earth and they kill them and they bring them down.
Wait, so like if I get killed and I'm in hell and I can go to them and be like, hey, I want you to take out Fernie. They'll be like, all right, done.
Yeah, yeah, they do it.
Okay.
But it's fun. And like Blitz is like the boss, and then he has like his two henchmen, Millie and Moxie, who are married. They're a couple, and they have like the cutest relationship because they're like insane but so in love with each other. And then there's Luna, who's his adopted daughter, who's the receptionist. And yeah, it's fun. Super fun.
All right,
I
bitch.
think my opinion, like Blitz has the best lines like out of the whole thing. Like he's fucking insane.
All right, but all right, folks, you heard it here. We'll either be doing Bad Boys for Life. Is that the new one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll either do no Bad Boys Ride or Die. I think that's the new one.
Yeah, you're right. Because they wasted
Or Life on the last one.
yeah,
Do you think
that
Will Smith regrets that slap now because he's not doing prestige movies anymore?
we're done with that. That we're not accepting that as like a conversation anymore. Like we're done. Like that's yeah, like that's in the past.
No, okay, but would you agree that it kind of derailed him a little bit in what he wanted to do with his career?
I don't think so. I think he got the Oscar. Like he wanted that Oscar for so long. He got it. I don't think he has anything kind of left to prove.
Well,
So,
remember how he did what was that movie that he did that he didn't get nominated for?
Emancipation.
Yeah. Do you think he was like, fuck, that was the second Oscar if I hadn't fucked around?
Eh,
Hmm.
it's kind of hard to do a Hanks.
Oh, for
So,
Philadelphia, right? And
Forrest Gump.
huh? Forrest Gump?
Forrest
Yeah.
Gump.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Or who else? Mahershala Ali did it too, but he did it for like supporting and then for lead, or
Didn't
both
Daniel
were
Day-Lewis
supporting.
has Daniel Day-Lewis ever done it?
Daniel Lewis has like three or four, but they weren't back to back.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's right. He takes time in between projects. Like a
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
All right.
Anyway, all right. Well, we'll shoot for that next week. Everyone, watch out while you're driving. This was my name was Chema,
I've been Eddie.
and this was the rollback.
Signing off with a reminder. Watch how the fuck you drive.
Watch where the fuck you're driving. Also, take responsibility. Like,
Don't run.
yeah, don't hit and run. They're gonna find you. I hope.
Or at least leave some cash or something behind.
Yeah, whatever they could have left was not gonna be enough for my deductible. Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. And